Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. From Star Trek Discovery to Star Trek Prodigy, every fan needs to get caught up on the now finished wave of Star Trek series on Paramount+. Every episode of each series is available to stream on Paramount+ except for Star Trek Prodigy, which has a complicated streaming history. Star Trek already had 5 TV series that encompassed hundreds of episodes from 1966 to 2005 before Star Trek Discovery brought the franchise Gene Roddenberry created to the streaming era on Paramount+. 5 more TV series followed thanks to Star Trek Discovery's success, as well as the made-for-streaming movie Star Trek Section 31. Currently, Paramount Plus only has 2 Star Trek series, Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which premieres in early 2026. Strange New Worlds has seasons 4 and 5, consisting of 16 episodes, still to come, while Starfleet Academy has 2 10-episode seasons assured on Paramount Plus. With Paramount under new ownership by Skydance Media, Star Trek will become a greater priority at the studio, with the potential for new Star Trek movies and more Star Trek streaming series on Paramount+. With Star Trek on the cusp of change in the coming years, it's best not to sleep on the finished Star Trek series that built a new golden age on streaming. Star Trek Discovery ran for 5 seasons as the flagship series of Star Trek on Paramount+. Discovery was a series of firsts. It was the first Star Trek series in 12 years, the first to star an African-American female lead who was not a captain at first, and it was the first fully serialized Star Trek series. Star Trek Discovery was controversial from the moment it aired its 2-episode premiere in September 2021. A bold visual and stylistic reinvention of Star Trek Discovery rankled longtime fans looking for the traditional Star Trek they loved. Yet Discovery endured, despite creative changes behind the scenes in its first 2 seasons. While some fans have come to feel Star Trek Discovery was at its best in its 23rd century setting, the series lived up to its title when it jumped 930 years into the future. In the 32nd century, the USS Discovery took on a different meaning, becoming the symbol of Starfleet's classic values that helped repair the shattered United Federation of Planets. Star Trek Discovery was led by Sonequa Martin Green, who never failed to deliver remarkable and emotionally resonant performances as Captain Michael Burnham. Other standouts in the cast are Doug Jones, Wilson Cruz, Mary Wiseman, Anthony Rapp, and David Ajala in a series that pushed Star Trek's diversity and inclusivity forward. Star Trek Discovery is the reason why Star Trek experienced a renaissance, and it bore the brunt of fan ire and controversies to give the franchise a new beginning. Star Trek Discovery's 5 seasons can be uneven, but it can't be faulted for its vaulting ambition, and the show will likely gain greater appreciation as time marches on. Star Trek fans erupted in celebration when Patrick Stewart announced his return as Admiral Jean-Luc Picard. When Star Trek Picard premiered in 2020, however, fans who hoped to rekindle the glory of Star Trek The Next Generation instead found a more contemplative and uncertain series with new faces surrounding Jean-Luc. Under showrunner Michael Chabon, Star Trek Picard Season 1 told a tale of Romulans, the Borg, and the fears of AI that amounted to little thanks to a hollow ending. Star Trek Picard Season 2, under showrunner Akiva Goldsman, was a TNG greatest hits parade about time travel, the Borg Queen Annie Wershing, and Q. John Delancey. Star Trek Picard Season 3, however, got it right at last. Showrunner Terry Matalas masterminded the Star Trek The Next Generation cast reunion fans wanted all along, and told a rousing and fulfilling story about one last hurrah for TNG opening the door for the next generation and a new Starship Enterprise. With 3 different creative visions, Star Trek Picard is the most scattered of Star Trek on Paramount Plus series, but it also introduced numerous endearing new characters and evolved 7 of 9 Jerry Ryan into a captain capable of leading her own Star Trek series. Meanwhile, Star Trek Picard Season 3 is a must-see, especially for fans of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it can claim the crown as the live-action apex of Star Trek on Paramount+. Star Trek Picard Season 3 also set up the future fans truly want, and perhaps Paramount Skydance may finally deliver on the endless hopes for Star Trek Legacy. Star Trek, the animated series in the 1970s, was once disavowed by Gene Roddenberry, but Star Trek Lower Decks' executive producer and creator Mike McMahon not only ushered in a new era of animated Trek, but he dared to make the first Star Trek half-hour animated comedy. And it worked like gangbusters. Focusing on the lowest rung of ensigns on an unremarkable starship, Star Trek Lower Decks made endearing fun of the sometimes dreary, sometimes thrilling day-to-day life of 24th century Starfleet. Lower Decks restored the beloved iconography of Star Trek: The Next Generation with a relentlessly funny, go-for-broke attitude. Yet Star Trek Lower Decks characters were rich and complex, led by the self-destructive Ensign Beckett Mariner Tawny Newsome and the confidence-challenged Ensign Brad Boimler Jack Quaid. By the end of Star Trek Lower Decks' 5 seasons, the Lower Deckers graduated to become bridge, crew, and future Starfleet legends. Star Trek Lower Decks is endlessly inventive, unceasingly funny, but also has depth, heart, and dares to challenge the unknown. Star Trek Lower Decks is essential Star Trek, celebrating everything weird and wonderful about the final frontier. Star Trek is more than just a science fiction franchise. It's a cultural phenomenon that has spanned decades, inspired generations, and reshaped television storytelling. With new shows like Strange New Worlds and Discovery still unfolding, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of modern Trek. But to truly understand the heart of this universe, one must explore the finished series that laid its foundation and defined its legacy. Some Star Trek shows have concluded, leaving behind complete narratives that are ripe for discovery or rewatching. These series offer a full journey, from character arcs to epic finales, that fans can enjoy without waiting for the next season. If you're looking to dive into Trek's finished gems, here are 4 shows that stand tall as must-watches. It's impossible to talk about Star Trek without honoring the groundbreaking series that boldly went where no TV show had gone before. Airing in the late 1960s, the original series, often abbreviated as TOS, wasn't just a science fiction adventure. It was a bold, socially conscious experiment that dared to imagine a better future during a turbulent era. At only 3 seasons, TOS is one of the shortest Trek series, but its influence is immeasurable. Captain James T. Kirk William Shatner, Mr. Spock Leonard Nimoy, and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy DeForest Kelley form a trio of commanding personalities who anchor the series. Together with the diverse crew of the USS Enterprise, they tackle stories that explore morality, politics, war, and humanity's potential. From the first interracial kiss on American television to allegories about racism, war, and human rights, the original series pushed boundaries. Its campy 1960s aesthetic may feel dated to new viewers, but at its core, TOS is timeless in its optimism. Every Trek that followed stands on its shoulders. When The Next Generation TNG premiered in the late 1980s, fans were skeptical. Could anyone ever replace Kirk, Spock, and the original crew? But under the calm leadership of Captain Jean-Luc Picard Patrick Stewart, the Enterprise D charted a new course that cemented Star Trek as a multi-generational franchise. Running for 7 seasons, TNG proved that Star Trek wasn't just nostalgia. It was a living, evolving vision of the future. The show took advantage of better production values and more mature storytelling to explore everything from artificial intelligence data's quest to be human to the ethics of war, the wounded to cosmic mysteries Q's trials. The strength of TNG lies in its ensemble cast. From Worf's journey as the first Klingon in Starfleet to Geordi La Forge's struggles as a blind engineer relying on futuristic technology, every character gets their moment. And while Picard may be the face of the show, TNG's power comes from its ability to weave personal and philosophical dilemmas into sweeping space adventures. The series also introduced lasting villains and species. The Borg, perhaps the most terrifying collective enemy in sci-fi, made their debut here. Must-watch episodes: The Best of Both Worlds Parts I and II, The Measure of a Man, Yesterday's Enterprise. Final verdict: if you want quintessential Star Trek storytelling at its finest, TNG is the crown jewel. If TOS and TNG celebrated exploration and optimism, Deep Space Nine DS9 dared to challenge the Federation's ideals. Set on a space station near a strategic wormhole, DS9 flipped the formula. Instead of venturing into space, space came to them. Led by Captain Benjamin Sisko Avery Brooks, the crew dealt with politics, war, religion, and cultural clashes in ways no Trek had attempted before. DS9 was serialized in a way that felt ahead of its time. Long story arcs stretched across multiple seasons, giving fans an interconnected tapestry of conflict and growth. Its greatest contribution to Trek lore may be its willingness to question the Federation's moral high ground. During the Dominion War arc, characters were pushed to their limits, and decisions had consequences that weren't easily wrapped up in a single episode. DS9 also gave us one of Star Trek's most fascinating ensembles, from Kira, Nerys, a former resistance fighter, to Quark, a Ferengi bar owner, with surprising depth. While it wasn't always beloved during its original run, DS9 has since been recognized as a masterpiece. Its political intrigue and complex character development make it resonate strongly with modern audiences. Must-watch episodes: In the Pale Moonlight, The Visitor, Far Beyond the Stars. Final verdict: for those who want a darker, more layered Trek, DS9 is unmissable. Voyager begins with a premise that immediately sets it apart. A Federation starship is stranded 70,000 light-years from home, flung across the galaxy by a mysterious force. With no immediate way back, Captain Catherine Janeway Kate Mulgrew and her crew face the daunting task of surviving in uncharted space while attempting the long journey back to Earth. Janeway's leadership made history, as she was the first woman to lead a Trek series. Her balancing act of compassion and steel discipline helped define the show. Meanwhile, characters like the rebellious former Maquis officer Chakotay, the resourceful engineer B'Elanna Torres, and the holographic Dr. Robert Picardo provided some of Trek's most memorable arcs. But perhaps the most influential character was Seven of Nine, a former Borg drone who joined the crew in Season 4. Her struggle to reclaim her individuality while holding onto her unique Borg-enhanced abilities became one of Voyager's defining storylines. Voyager is often seen as a hybrid of TNG's Adventure of the Week style and DS9's serialized arcs. While it had its uneven moments, its themes of resilience, exploration, and found family gave it heart. By the time the crew finally returns home, fans feel as though they've been on the journey with them. Together, these 4 shows form a complete Star Trek journey, one that takes you from the idealistic dreams of the 1960s to the layered, morally complex stories of the 1990s. Whether you're a newcomer to the franchise or a fan looking for a rewatch, these finished series provide not only entertainment, but also a deep meditation on what it means to be human, what it means to lead, and what it means to boldly go. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.